Yo, what's up guys, Zephyr here. Now I'm sure everybody knows that the depths of Illusive realm has came back this patch and is actually here to stay. We now have these like weekly currency that we can trade in to get echoes and materials and all that, so it's real nice. So since this game mode is now just officially in the game and it won't go away, there is a lot to talk about here. Now, there is many tips and tricks and just things that the game doesn't really tell you, or this mode doesn't tell you, that can make you going through this event and getting your 12 claims daily real fast, real easy, and honestly just getting it cleared out so you can buy just the entire shop, or get that Infernal Rider skin, or these cool like no weapon like skins and all that. So basically I'm gonna go through pretty much everything. I'll talk about some of the main things I feel is important to talk about. I'll talk about some tips and tricks, what characters are best to use to clear out content and all that. So let's get started. First thing we're going over is this whole skill tree thing. Now, all of these skills are good. I mean, it's always good to have more crit rate, whatever, damage, health. But the main ones that you want is going to be, first of all, this one right here. Now, on every successful dodge, you get a shield equal to 50% of your HP for 3 seconds. And this can be triggered every 6 seconds. Now, if you are able to dodge in this game, which isn't very hard, but if you're able to consistently dodge in this game, you can have just a free hit or a free couple hits just for dodging. So not only does this really spike up your survivability, there's also upgrades in this that give you buffs based on you having a shield. So meaning that, let's say that you don't have this, right? Your only way of getting shields would be from an echo, like the turtle, or you getting some upgrade that gives you a shield based on, dodging, let's say, or literally anything. So the point is that not only does this give you a free shield, this also gives you another way to upgrade yourself based on the actual upgrades you get inside the game mode. And again, it's honestly massive just how nice this ability is in the first place with this skill. It really does up your survivability a lot, and I would honestly recommend you just to go straight to it. Now, Blessing of Dreams is also really good because it pretty much gets rid of that extra crit rate, because at a point where you can have like 200% crit rate, I mean, you're already going to crit 100% of the time anyways, so going from 100 to 200 crit rate or whatever just doesn't make a difference. So thanks to this, it will actually convert your crit rate into crit damage based on how much you have. Now, this is absolutely huge because once you start getting into a little later in the game or into your run, you're gonna have some crazy like multipliers and like ratios. Like you're gonna have like at least like 150 crit rate to like 400 crit damage. So on top of that, you're gonna have an extra, whatever, just based on how much crit rate you have. So it really makes a difference just how much you can buff yourself. And so you won't just have a lot of crit rate, and it can actually go into like the stat that matters, which is your crit damage. Now the rest of these are honestly not bad. Get them when you can. Again, crit damage all the way here is also really good too. If you can, you should definitely rush to get this. And then the rest of these, again, it's just more damage, survivability and all that. It's nice. But yeah, if I had to say the main three, it will be the shield, then the ratio, and then obviously the big crit damage by 25% at the end. Okay, but jumping into the actual game mode here. If you are planning to farm out your rewards, I would say if you're not too confident in how you play, so let's say that you're not as hot as you are on dodging, go level 80, go level 75. There's no shame in it. Honestly, I would recommend level 80 because the jump from 75 to 80 is absolutely massive for your actual like currency. As you can see, it's about 150 difference. So I do think it is worth going from just at the very least doing level 80 just to get your weekly 12 reward attempts cleared. However, if you're more confident in your actual playing, you should go level 90, nothing higher. Going to 95 isn't even worth it. Again, it's only like a 20-point difference and like a 6-point difference here, and it's generally terrible. Like it's hard. So not only are you just not going to win this run if you don't get lucky, but just the difference between 90 and 95 is just crazy. Another good thing about level 90 and just like the rest of them, these red ones here, is that they switch out their trial resonators weekly. Now, if you were here while this was going on last week or like the week prior, it wasn't these three. It was actually Camellia up here and like somebody else. But now we have Havoc, Gion, and Mortifi, which then gets on to my next point. Gion is like the best character in this mode. Now, say what you want about him in regular WoWa or like, you know, the whole like Abyss thing, but in this game mode, this is Gion's mode right here. Gion is the easiest character to clear with in this like game mode because of his clear, like his ultimate, all that. Like he has so much hits going on that he can just clear it out easily. Like he can hit those parries, he can just kind of clear everything out, he can bunch them up together. He makes some serious time and some crazy damage on here. And same for Camellia now. Like she's honestly the same, but just a bit worse due to her like whole like spinning thing and her being tied up in the air. But she's also a really good choice. So these two pretty much rule this whole game mode. So if you ever see these two in the trial, or if you have these two to actually play with, always use them. Unless you're going for the actual like achievements down here. If you're going for like these here, where you need to play as different people, then do that. But if you're trying to get clears, if you're trying to win your runs relatively easily, always go with these two. Now, quickly touching on the whole modifier things, this is up to you. If you feel like you need help, you can go on and hit this and add up to these. Obviously, it's going to take away your actual score, and don't put too many or you just have none to take away or to earn. But if you need these, go ahead and do it. However, if you want some extra rewards here, I find Wreck of Despair to be the easiest one to have. That's just a free 30%. This doesn't really affect you all that much as you might think. As long as you don't spam like dodge or whatever, then you will never really feel this. All the other ones though, I honestly would not touch at all. Maybe Black and Blade. This one isn't that bad either. But for sure, if you're gonna run this, definitely have this one on. Wreck of Despair is easy. You will never honestly notice it. And it's just a free 30%. So now that we're actually in the game here, let's talk about the whole upgrades material thing here. Now, the buffs or the upgrades, these are obviously based on character to character. Each one has their own little gimmick and what kind of upgrades whatever, you know, gimmick the character has. So like, for example here, Faultless makes it to where your skill makes it to where you could do one of your ults, like attacks, like the spin, just from using your skill. So that's honestly huge. So we're going with that one easily. And then the main thing here is what echo you get. Now, usually the whole echo thing, this can be, okay, so here we go. These can be a run changer, I'd say. Now, if you get Infernal Rider, always go Infernal Rider. That is the best DPS echo in this mode. Now, it's actually quite convenient with the two I got. Infernal Rider is the best DPS one, and I feel like Dreamless is the worst one out of the four. Like, we have Infernal Rider, we have Crownless, obviously Dreamless, we have Bellborn. Oh, and we also have the electric one. I don't remember the name, like the Thunderborn or whatever it's called. But I feel like Dreamless is the worst one to get. I can't ever make it work, even though I tried to read and understand how it works. I just can't make it work. So I'm sure it's probably a me thing. Maybe you could be smart enough to make it work, but just Infernal Rider is just so easy. He has the highest DPS. If you get a Infernal Rider, you know, path upgrade, whatever, do select it because he's just free damage and he's nutty. Now moving on to Ghost Later here, always go for the one on the left. It should have no like red in the behind, like the red circle, whatever. Always go for these. This is never worth it in any case. The downside is never as good as the upside or like the whatever you gain from it. So always go for this. So, you know, protection fee, whatever. It never feels worth it to go for the right. Again, what it takes away from you, like either defense or it'll like cut your HP in half, and then for you to just die, like it doesn't really matter. Again, I'm sure you can gauge your own skill. Maybe you think you're really good and you can just do it, then more power to you. But if you're more casual and you want to actually clear this like relatively easily, never go for the right. Always pick whatever's on the left. Now going over the actual doors, there is 6 options and I'll list them all here on the screen. There is Fierce Struggle, Deathmatch, Training, Bridge Dreamscape, Unknown, and then Rest. All of these doors obviously do something different, but I'm gonna tell you which ones are usually the best to go for. Now, obviously First Struggle is one of the best ones to go for. This one will always have 2 cats to go get your upgrades in. And then it could have a secret third one if you break a rock or whatever like destructible object there is in there. And you get lucky to actually get another one. So these will always give you a lot of upgrades for your echoes or just for you or whatever. So it's always nice to go this one. Now, Bridge to Dreamscape here is how you get your actual like allies or your call-ins. This could be really good too. I wouldn't say it's as important. You could definitely play this without allies. However, if you get lucky and you get like a Verena or like a Mortify or like a anything like that, mainly those two honestly. If you get a Mortify or like a Verena, you pretty much win. So it is good to check these like every once in a while and see if you get lucky. If you don't, then oh well, just pick whatever echo you have that's the right type. Now, if you don't know what your type your echo is, or you want to see like your stats, you can hit it up here on the left. And this will show everything you have. So like again, what your echo takes for like skills, how much you have already, what upgrades you have for your actual character, and then your actual like stats on the right. So as you can see, I have a 50% crit rate, 195 crit damage, not bad at all. And then obviously you can see even what upgrades you've taken so far. Like I've taken this crit run. And then your tokens is what those little things you pick from the Ghost Lady. And I have the fragments. So this is a really helpful like a menu that I don't think they even told you about. They just kind of expect you to find it yourself. So make sure you use it. It's good to see what you have, what you need, and how you're scaling with this whole game mode. But moving on, we have Memory of Training. This one gives you a free character upgrade. So these guys here, it will give you another skill like this that you can pick and, you know, get a special buff or whatever for your actions or skill or ultimate or just stuff like that. There's Unknown, which Unknown is about the worst door you can go through, since those can do literally anything. And while Uncertainty is a bad thing, I'd say, in a game like this where it's all about building yourself up, you can get some nice things out of there, or you can get something that really screws you over. So Unknown is always a wild card that is up to you to pick or choose or go through. Again, if you want to kind of min-max and be sweaty about this, I wouldn't ever go through an Unknown door. And then ending it off with Rest. Rest is the free heal and then like a free like upgrade. Like a cat could be in there sometimes. And then there's always a guaranteed chop in there. So if you have some money to spend, going through Rest, or if you're a little low, is always a good idea. Now, for example here, this is one of the rocks I'm talking about. And also, you can use your like abilities in here. I don't know what this is called, but you can actually sensor and find these rocks out in the world. So if you don't have a real eye for them, just pop your sensor every once in a while and you will be able to see them just kind of highlighted. Now let's see if we get lucky enough to get a cat though. Okay, so we got a cat. Now obviously this is a chance kind of thing. You will never always get a cat. It could be money or it could just be nothing. So luckily we got a cat. So just look out for these kinds of rocks, or again, anything that just highlights whenever you sensor. And you'll be able to find these guys, and you can just claim whatever you want. Like, for example, huge crit rate. Awesome. Now, I guess since I'm here, we can go over the abilities thing. You do want to get your abilities for your echoes. Mostly if you have Infernal Rider. If you have Infernal Rider as your echo, you should definitely get it to, like, at least, like, right here. Honestly, right here would be even better, and then right here is just, you know, great. But do not ever, you know, mistreat your echo. Don't ever ignore it. They are very important. They scale with you. And if you get those abilities, they can become really nutty. Like, if you have the Bellborn, like, shield, if you get that guy up to, like, level 4 or 3, you can just keep popping that shield, and it will never go down. And at a point, it can start giving you buffs. Like, it's really nice. And same for Infernal Rider, like the more you upgrade that skill, the more levels you get, the more like just attacks he will do. And with that, it's just free damage, so it's always nice. Always go and upgrade your echo. Now that we beat the boss, we have our free claim here. There we go. And now we're back to these two. Again, always keep the left one, never do the right one. Like here we go, this is what I'm talking about. This reduces your max HP, but increases the progress of your rank. That is absolutely useless. I mean, you get that SS rank so fast just by playing the game. that it is not even worth getting a buff to it. Because one, you're gonna have reduced HP anyways, so I mean, what's the point at that point if you're gonna have to like pretty much take away your like half your health bar? So again, these like double-edged sword ones are never worth it. So now we finally made it to a bony gatekeeper. This guy is pretty much the shop, and his shop could be pretty hit or miss, matters on what you have. If you do have the skill for this, there is one of the skills in the anomaly tree or whatever that you can actually refresh his shop. So like, for example, if you get nothing that really like helps you, so for example, I need pyro and cryo, right? I can refresh and I still get nothing, but it's actually worse now. But you get the idea, right? Like I could have maybe gotten lucky and got like 2 pyros, like 50% off, or a pyro and a cryo, or it could have been better. Obviously, I got kind of screwed out here, but it just matters on how lucky you are and all that. But since we did get this, let's just look through them real quick. Okay, here we go. For example, here, this item actually gives me a shield. So I get a shield equal to 30% of my max HP whenever I cast a skill, and it lasts for 8 seconds. So this is huge for like Ji-Yun, because the whole gameplay with him is that you want to pop your skill as much as possible inside your ult. So I'll buy that. And then this other cryo one, here we go. Now when a shield exists, so if I'm either dodging or if I use my skill now, my skill and liberation will now trigger the shatter effect. So again, can you see why this having that skill from the skill tree where you get a shield on dodge is so valuable now? Because you get these really nutty upgrades like this, and if you didn't have that skill, you would have gotten lucky to get something like this, right? And let's just say let's just say that you didn't get this this upgrade, this shield. Now what, right? You can't use this. So again, that's why I'm telling you to go and get out that skill. Go get that skill that gives you shield, because it is super helpful. Now, here's an example where I got pretty much nothing that helps me when it comes to like DPS. And you might think, oh, well, just grab this one, right? It gives me crit rate on my resonance skill, but it doesn't match the elements I need. And this is where I say that sometimes it's okay to go ahead and grab something if you need it, but I am stacked on crit rate right now, so just getting this one, which I can't even use right now because I don't have a companion, but will give me more stacks towards this like level 3 buff, is more important than me getting more crit rate, right? So don't be afraid to pick upgrades that don't help you immediately or like at all, as long as it helps towards your echo. Because again, your echo is a crazy DPS or shield or survivability or whatever, and it will make and break your run, and it just makes a huge difference. Now, as you see, I tried going through the companion door, and I got lucky enough to get a Verena. Now, again, whenever you get these doors, you always want to go for Verena, like any kind of healer, or you can go for Mortify, or you can honestly go for this one too, Wu. Just never go Alto, honestly. That's just, unless he has your correct, upgrade path for your elements, then you can go him. But thankfully, Verena is also cryo, so this helps me out too. But even then, like, if you are struggling with like staying alive, always go for Verena, Mortify, all that, Baizu. Just anybody to keep you alive. It just makes that much of a difference. So the cool thing about the whole companion things now, like this is new to this event coming back permanently, is that you used to just kind of pick them through the door, or not even, it used to be different how you got companions, but now it's a little more deeper. You actually get to talk to them, and they kind of spill out some lore about, their whole dream they're having, and then you snapping them out of it and what they say and all that. So if it's, oh, there seems to be an actual error here. Text not found, speaker 83_name. Okay, well, usually their character's name is there, but I guess not this time. I don't know what happened. But besides that, Verena, okay, there we go. Verena will say, what her dream is, and it's incredible lore. It just lets you know more about the character and how they feel. So I definitely agree, or I definitely feel like you should go through that and actually read it firsthand, then you can skip it as much as you want later on. But it's just a nice way to learn about these characters and just like a little bit of lore. And, you know, a little lore does not hurt. Okay, so I cleared out boss 2, and honestly, I'm just gonna cut to the end and we'll show the official build for Gion here and truly show you just how easy it is to clear this with him. Okay, so I made it to the last fight, and let's just check my scaling real quick here. Now, as you can see, I have 50 crit rate, you know, 254 crit damage. I have almost 2,000 attack. I have fully maxed out my Infernal Rider. And then I have gotten like 4 character upgrades. And of course, I have all of this. I have all these upgrades that, you know, boosts my crit damage, my actual like abilities, my ultimate skill, just stuff like that. And of course, my 2 tokens. Now, I'm sure this fight is going to go pretty smoothly. This actually might be my best build yet so far. So we shall truly see here. We can see just how fast we melt this guy here. So get our dodge builder or our shield. Then we just ult. Then I'm just gonna spam skill and hold left click. And I'll also pop Infernal Rider when I can. So like right there. When I have to dodge. Which I mean, it doesn't even matter, honestly. I'm almost dead. Wait, hold on. So now that I'm almost dead, we can pop Verena. As you can see, we get all our health back. And we win. So, even though I had 1 HP and almost died, right? Verena kept me alive. And then Verena healed me back up to half HP. So, again, you can really just turn off your brain here. Again, you saw, all I did was just hold left click and then press E. Like, I rarely dodged. I only dodged when I had to because he was up in the air. But even then, I almost died for it. So, maybe don't just go all ooga booga like how I did. But the point is that you saw how fast I melted him, right? I mean, it was even like it wasn't even a minute. I'm pretty sure it would have gone faster if he didn't just like start flying in the air like that. So, again, Gion is just nutty like that. He is the GOAT when it comes to this game mode. And honestly, that's it for me. I hope this helps. I love this like whole like game mode so much. I love the doors. I love the whole like almost roguelike to it, or like just being able to kind of luck your way into a really good build. So, again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next video. Bye bye.